Just before we start, I just wanted to mention one thing quickly. Helos & Co. and Sporting Club Helos are independent missions. They're both run solely by myself. So if you could like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, it would mean the world. Check out helosandco.com. And without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, just before this podcast starts, I want to preface this with one thing. Before Mason hopped on, I was doing some audio testing, and unfortunately I put the wrong mic on and the audio was corrupted. So for this audio, for this podcast, I used the camera mics. Unfortunately, it's not the same quality and there's a bit of an echo. However, with a guest like Mason, I still wanted to put this content out for people to hear it. I'll be having him back on in no time. But until then, enjoy the pod. And that's a good place to start. Welcome back to Helos and Homies. I'm here with the king of Newcastle. If it weren't for Kalen Ponga, I'm here with Mason Dane. How are you, brother? You good?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming through, bro. Is this your first time out west in Penrith?
Out west in Penrith, yeah, 100%. I lived sort of like in Moorebank for a few years.
Yeah.
So like near Liverpool, so like obviously not west, but a little bit out there.
Yeah. What do you think, Penrith?
It's only been a couple of minutes out here, and I think it's fantastic out here. It's great.
Look, for those who aren't aware of Mason's work, you'll be pretty shocked as to the level that's been achieved, I think, from a boy from Newcastle. I think it's crazy. A dear affiliate of T-Pain. Yes, T-Pain, that dominated the 2000s on the charts. A producer, a writer, a rapper, one of Australia's most exciting up-and-comers in hip-hop. And yeah, doing it all yourself, bro.
I appreciate it, bro.
Congratulations, bro. You're killing it, eh?
I'm having fun. I'm having a lot of fun.
How are you finding it all?
It's good. I don't know, yeah, I've always sort of wanted to, do music. Music was always my thing, so it's cool. It's gratifying to see things actually working. Yeah. It's cool. Just, it's affirmation to be like, cool, keep going.
Yeah. When you were growing up, what was expected of you?
Growing up, I don't know. My parents were always super chill. It was never like, we want you to be this or we want you to be that. My dad wanted me to play music.
That's cool.
Because he grew up playing music and always wanted to make a career of it, but had a family young, got into working and all that stuff. So I don't know. They just expected us to be ourselves. They're like super young, progressive. They love they love everything. So yeah, there wasn't too many expectations, but I think that's good because you sort of exceed them fairly easily.
What instruments did your dad play?
My dad played guitar, a little bit of piano, like here and there, and he sang. My mom sings. Like, we got a very musical family.
Yeah.
Like, everyone loves it.
Before all the hip hop stuff started taking off, what did you learn? Or did you learn?
I learned, so when I was like a little kid, like I got this music video for my song Runaway, where I have like a bunch of VHS clips, and you see for my first birthday, my dad got me like a toy guitar, and then for like when I was 3, for like third Christmas, I got like a real guitar. So I always grew up playing guitar, and then in high school I learned keys, and I've sort of like played pretty much everything, like guitar, bass, ukulele, drums. Like I've sort of got a grasp on most of it. Yeah.
Do you reckon that sets you apart in the modern era?
Yeah, potentially. There's like, especially in the hip hop sense, because I come out and I rap, and then if you follow me on TikTok or Instagram, which go ahead, then that I sit there and play songs and play these like really beautiful pop songs, and I sing and all that stuff. So it's definitely sets me apart, because I feel like a lot of artists these days who just come out starting to rap, it's like they don't have that other side of singing. Some of them do. Some people sing and some people try to sing.
You see it with the Polynesian community.
Oh yeah, and pretty much every poly kid just has like voice of an angel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Do you follow UK rap much?
A little bit.
Dave, obviously.
Yeah.
Grew up playing the piano. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Have you seen his Panic Attack live performance?
Oh yeah. That shit is crazy.
It's crazy.
That is crazy.
It's one of the coolest things I've seen.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Skep and Jamie, like they're obviously brothers, but I'm pretty sure they both grew up doing something different. You can tell it kind of just like sets them apart in terms of like a creative sense.
Yeah, definitely musically like sort of sets them apart, and I think it helps as well with building out songs as opposed to, like just writing verses. It's like really helps you tie together things a lot better.
Yeah. How do you find doing it like all yourself?
It's good. Sometimes it's...
Being able to do it all yourself.
Yeah. it's good. It's cool. Like I just go through such stints of being like, cool, I'm gonna do everything myself now. So I'll do that for like a few weeks, and then I have my boy Liam Thomas. He's from Brisbane, but he lives in Sydney. Like me and him work on so much stuff together. He like produced pretty much all my EP, Chasing Home. Me and him did a lot of that stuff together, and he's just cracked. But I love making stuff on my own. It's cool. It's like, you know, I can just sit down and out of nothing make a whole song, and that's really cool. I've been getting back into it lately, like really making sure that I'm making all my shit.
When you outsource it, so to speak, do you become like frustrated sometimes?
Nah, because I just have the perfect partner to make music with, you know what I mean? Liam, my boy Liam is just like so cracked, like he's so good, like he's classically trained piano and like can make every genre, like it's so good, and we are so on the same level creatively and like what we listen to and all that stuff that like I'm like, yeah, this. And then literally in my head we can be like think at the same time. Oh, and then it goes to this chord, and like it's good fun. It's good fun with Liam.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Back to the outsourcing thing. I was going to say I find it hard sometimes because I have ideas for like Helos, so we have the clothing and whatnot, and I have creative ideas. When I try and explain them to other people to bring some of the boys along and be like, oh yeah, like this is my idea, like see how you shoot it, and then they'll shoot it and be like, fuck, like
not quite.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like my responsibility to go fix it, but at the same time, like I want other people to be involved. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's a hard trade-off I find sometimes. Yeah, 100%. And there's definitely been times when I've been like wanting to get my boys involved with like music, just wherever. Like, you know, my boys back home from Newcastle being like, you know, hey bro, like we need this video, like we need photos, and like one of my boys back home, Becca, is like crazy with like film photography. So we used to like, you know, bring him to all my shows and all that stuff. But there's some things as well, like where you give them a task and it's like they just, you know, if you don't have the exact vision, it's kind of hard to replicate, and you can direct it as much as you want and be like, this is what I want, but sometimes they don't get it. But I'm lucky that Liam's just like never misses a beat. How did you two meet?
So he's from Brisbane, and I sort of connected with a lot of artists from Brizzy. One of my first people that I connected with when I came to Sydney was Creed the Kid. Yeah. And special talent, man. Yeah. That's my guy, man. He's like my first ever song that I dropped like proper, like with a proper rollout was with him. And so he was back in Brisbane, and we got the boys like Baby Prince and Day One and stuff. And so Liam, I think, remade a beat for me and Baby Prince.
Baby Prince, Turquoise Prince, or two different?
No. Baby Prince is from Brizzy. He's like this. He's like coming out now, and like he's got this sort of like.
Oh, Babyface Mel?
No. Baby Prince.
Sorry about that.
No, it's cool. But you should check him out. He's really dope. He's like.
Yeah, because it rings a bell.
Yeah, very Americanized, like really almost like Young Thug almost. He's got like a really like unique presence and stuff. And he has really funny witty bars, and like he's just sick. So me and him had a song, and like the producer was just being weird and like wanted to get paid before the song even came out and all this stuff, and we were like, okay, cool, we'll put it aside. And we came back to the song, and Prince had heard about Liam somehow, I think, and hit him and was like, hey, do you want to have a go producing this song? And he was like, yeah, cool. So then that happened, and I showed my managers at the time, which is Ziggy and Manny, art management and stuff, and they were like, oh yeah, this guy's crazy. And I think they got Liam into work with Creed, and got Liam into work with Day One, and then I was like, man, this guy's crazy. So, because I was, you know, we all send each other's songs, and so I was like, man, who's this fucking guy, man? He's crazy. And he came down to Sydney, and like, just like that clicked, and
yeah, that's mad.
And he ended up moving to Sydney like a month after his first trip, and was like locked in.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, bro.
With the like the hip hop game, so you were just saying then, do you all send each other tracks for like feedback?
Yeah, 100%, definitely, and like always collaborating. Like,
where do you think leaks come from?
Legs?
No, leaks. In
hip-hop. Leaks. Oh, leaks are, man. It's such a crazy.
Do you think they're ever
from the inside?
Yeah, no, I reckon they're from the inside. Like, 100%. Like there's some in Australia that I know, like how it's gotten out type of thing, right?
Yeah.
But there's some as well where I think like there's a few with Central C where I'm like, I reckon you've done it on purpose.
Oh yeah, 100%. There's people definitely do like leak their own stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's smart. Sometimes it's the way to go. Sometimes You know, you never know a situation, they might be jammed up with their label and their label don't want to drop them nothing. And they go, let me slide this out, and then everyone goes crazy, and then the label goes, okay, cool, let's drop it. You know?
Yeah.
There's definitely sides to it.
Where do you think it mostly comes from, but just producers acting up, or like?
Yeah, a lot of the times it's engineers, which I guess that's like, I mean, obviously in Australia isn't that big of a deal because we don't have heaps of engineers.
Yeah.
But in the States, like, engineers do it. People just hack a Gmail. People can hack someone's Gmail, and, you know, a lot of people send stuff over email. So it's like just a bunch of songs and they go and sell them online. And it's like, yeah, it's crazy. I've seen something where they do this thing called a SIM swap, where they'll just pay someone who works at like a phone company and just go, hey, I'll pay you this much, switch this number to my phone. And then they just have access to all their stuff.
Crazy.
Yeah.
There's a few ways I've seen to explain it to people. Engineer. What's an engineer?
Engineer is someone who sits in the studio and records the artist. So they have all the project files of all, like, you know, the songs before they get exported and sent to the artist, you know. So a lot of the time they have all the access. So they'll just have all the songs, export them all, sell them online and act like they didn't.
For those who listen to UK rap, that's what Fumes is. Fumes is an engineer. It's not a producer. It's a very common...
Oh, yeah, big difference for sure.
It's just like a personality. Fumes used to try and rap as well. That's a fun thing to... Sorry, another audio error on my end. So, all that good stuff. I have a question for you. I think, this is a compliment, your marketing is very good.
Thank you.
The way you operate, and you mentioned before, like a rollout, it'd be cool to go through with like your thought processes on a rollout. Because I find it interesting... Just when I watch rollouts happening, I think as a country we have improvements to make.
Oh, 100%. I think it's not really... I think the idea of a rollout sort of is lost on some people. Like, obviously there's like rolling out your music and being like, cool, this single comes here, this single comes here, and then we put out the project, you know, but we really want to be creative every time we're putting out a project, you know what I mean? Like, I have, you know, for my last project, Chasing Home, and I have a side project called Heartbreaking Blue with producer Amorist, and we just, you know, want to stand out when we put out a piece of music, you know, and build that world. Like, for Heartbreaking Blue, we did, you know, we made up this whole storyline that we were massive pop stars in the 80s and 90s, and we had this big breakup, and, you know, now 20 years later, we're coming back together and we're dropping the greatest hits album. And we just started posting it, not letting anybody in on it, just being like, posting like clips from back in the day and all this stuff and these interviews, and everyone's messaging me going, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
Like, bro, they were massive back in the day, you don't remember these guys? And we rolled out the project and dropped the greatest hits, and we did a 80s prom. We got like a small little scout hall in Rudy Hill, and like decked it out and made it look like the 80s, and we performed all the songs. I had my dad in the band, like he played bass with us. And, like, we just rolled things out like that. Like, building that world is so cool, and I think it's a missed opportunity for a lot of artists, because there's so much, like, it's so fun putting together those things. For my EP Chasing Home, like, man, we did this whole, you know, it was about...
I saw it.
Yeah, it was about me being in Newcastle, moving to Sydney, and how many times I took the train from Sydney to Newcastle.
What's
the line? It's the, I don't know, NTL. I don't know what it is, but it's like the intercity one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd get on the train 6 a.m., get to Sydney 9 a.m., do a session 9 to 5, get on the train, go back at 6 p.m.
Yeah, nuts.
Get home at 9. So I did that for ages, and I ended up writing a project sort of about that time in my life and the experiences I go through in relationships and this and that. And we were like, we need to bring everyone into this world and see what it's like, you know. So we started, you know, we shot all the content, and then we decided to launch it by performing the song on a moving train carriage.
Yeah, it was such a sick, yeah.
It was so cool. We had everyone like wait at a station, jump on, and I came out and I performed. Like, we packed out a whole train carriage. Like, it was nuts. There was probably like 40, 50 people in this train carriage, and me and Liam and my boy Will Roman like just played acoustic like a few of the songs before they came out. And
yeah, that's mad.
And it was amazing, bro. Like, just bringing people into that world is like, it just makes people so much more excited for the music too.
Yeah.
And it's like, who doesn't love being like, oh shit, we're gonna go jump on this train and see a show? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it just brings so much fun to it as well.
Where do you think you get your I don't want to use the word genius, but like it's close to it in context. Where do you get like those small hits of genius for your marketing?
I mean, a lot of it's brainstorming, you know what I mean? Like with the team, like we just throw ideas out, you know? The train performance, that was Ziggy's idea. Ziggy was like, why don't we do like, just perform on train? Fuck no, I'm not doing that. I don't want to fucking perform on train, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then I went, nah, that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
But we just, I don't know, it's just, you know, you just always want to sort of like push the envelope and just do exciting things. And yeah, I don't know where the ideas come from. It's almost like the same with music. It's like, I don't know where I sort of get the ideas that I get. It just sort of happens, you know?
Yeah. For those who are listening, for a rollout, I should have provided context. I get messages from people being like, "Fuck, I got no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Need a definition." For like a rollout, it's just kind of like the process of your marketing and like how a good example. Jay Huss just had like one of the biggest albums of the year come out, Beautiful and Brutal Yard, and he, out of nowhere, he's always been weird on Instagram. Then out of nowhere on Instagram, he announces his album, and then he drops.
I told you,
yeah, but there was one before it. I can't. Oh, he drops "It's Crazy," which is like him being like he's gone crazy in the song. It's like a drill almost, like a drill song. And then he gets mad interaction saying we need that like vibey Huss. Drops a fucking song called "Who Told You" with Drake. Drake shit on it. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I reckon Drake. That's one of his worst. Like,
especially on that sound, you're like, oh, he's gonna snap. Snap. And he just dropped the ball.
Yeah. So Huss, obviously being smart, realizes, okay, I've got a Drake feature. Most probably was for another song. And he goes, fuck, this is my big song here. Most probably fed it to other people, so that's like what Mason might do, is feed the song to other people, or the EP, gauge what best reaction is. Yeah. Most probably was to Who Told You. Somehow gets the Drake verse onto that song, rolls that out, all of a sudden his album goes number one. Like, that's the whole rollout. It's like the planning and idea of a rollout, and they don't happen enough in Australia, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, people do roll out a project, but more or less, like, I see one of the things, even like with a lot of my boys, like, they'll go, cool, song's coming out today.
Yeah.
Go get it. You know what I mean? Which is, you know, it works for some, like, you know, my friend Day One, like, he's sort of like well known enough where he can do that and just go,
yeah,
I'm dropping a song today with ours, like, go check it out. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think putting time into how we're gonna get people excited, like, what's the story? You know, it's such a lost art, you know, especially in Australia, but
yeah,
people are getting more into it.
It's also about engagement, I feel.
Yeah, 100%. And I think as well, it's kind of different with the kind of music too. You know, a lot of what's dominated Australia is drill.
Yeah. 100%.
And it's sort of like not a whole lot of ways to roll out drill. Like, there's obviously like, cool, this video looks crazy, or we're going to diss this person and it's going to be in the snippet, you know? Like, there's so many ways to get people excited about drill.
Or the classic one was like a gunshot sound and then like the screen goes black.
And it goes coming soon.
Yeah.
For sure. So it's like, I think the more that like drill is slowly starting to slow down a little bit and people are starting to like try a lot of different things, it's like, I think it will breed more creativity for like rollouts.
Yeah. Speaking of new things, do you listen to like any different artists especially from Newcastle?
From Newcastle, Chandler Jules. I don't know if Chandler Jules is a fucking gun. He's like such a nuts producer, bro.
Yeah. Do you know Vacations?
Yeah.
They're from
massive.
Yeah,
they're massive.
Yeah. When people talk to me about like Oz hip hop, I often ask them like, what else do you listen to? Like, I kind of just want to gauge like.
Yeah, I listen to everything. As far as like what I listen to day to day, like so much different shit. Like all pop. I love John Mayer, Justin Bieber. Like, I love Tendai from the UK. He does like this dark alternative R&B stuff.
Yeah, right.
Lately, I've been really into fucking Morgan Wallen.
Yeah, he fucking
with the country a little bit. Like, I listen to like everything. I love music.
Zach Bryan got me.
Oh yeah, and he just dropped a project, huh?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Oh, wasn't that dope?
Nah, like general consensus as well, right? Like, I'm not just trying to be individual. It was like a lot of people were like, "Fuck, I want to better." But, when I like saw you from Newcastle, I always thought like for a bit there before I discovered the Vacations, like that Mason's the only artist out of Newcastle, and then I found the Vacations in like late 2022. It was like
there's not like
superstars.
Yeah, exactly. The last one would be Daniel Johns, Andrew Johns, not really in music, but you know, there's not a lot of people who are going off in music in Newcastle where people can identify with, you know.
Yeah.
And You know, I want to be one of those people. But just now, like, there's a lot of artists who are starting to make music in Newcastle, and people are like, oh no, we can do it. Like, not whether it's me or just, you know, Leroy going crazy and showing everyone that, you know, you can make music in Australia. Like, yeah, it's starting to get there.
Yeah. How do you feel? So you broke the American wall. You obviously
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Got my foot in there.
How do you feel being back home when the other two that broke it, I'd say Iggy and Leroy, are over there? How do you feel being back home, even though you broke into the American market?
If I'm being honest, like, I need to be there. Like, you know, like, all I do when I get home, all I do is save money so I can go do a trip back there, get in with everybody, because, man, over there, it's, like, so crazy. In LA, like, every day you're doing something different. You know, like, I had, you know, my first session in LA was with Lil Keed, you know, doing songwriting and stuff. Did
he fucking die?
Yeah, he died last year. He died like a couple months after I had a session.
It's crazy. Yeah, because Drake on Jimmy Cooks.
Yeah.
Starts off with Recipe Lil Keed, hey? Yeah, right.
Like, it's just crazy. Just like, you know a couple of people, you just go, like, I knew this guy, Aaron Reed. He's LA Reed's son, big exec. And I just had a connection with him. We met up with him. He's like, cool, I'm doing this songwriting session for Young Thug tonight. And I was like, oh, cool. Can I hang out? And he's like, yeah, for sure. And I get in there, I start sort of like putting my, you know, my ideas in there. And then Keith came in and recorded some stuff. And nothing ever came out. But yeah, it's just so insane being over there and just going to an event. Like, I ended up at Kesha's album release party, you know what I mean?
How was that?
It was crazy. Like, it was cool. Like, she I got this like chain that has like my uncle's ashes in it. I'm not wearing it right now, but it's like a little beer can that's got some ashes in it, and Kesha pointed at it and went, oh, is that full of cocaine? And I was like, oh, that's like my dead uncle's ashes. And she was like, oh yeah. Like, it's crazy over there, man. And you know, I was at a restaurant and we go, Leroy, and like Leroy had just like come out of the restaurant next to us, and we're like, I said, I was like, yo, that was you? He's like, yeah, let's go get lunch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just being there in the middle of it where every big person is, like, it's invaluable. If that's the mission, to be, you know, international, where I know some people just want to conquer Australia and kill it out here, which, you know, I want to do as well, but I just I got my mind on
I think your sound transcends like the country, so you have to be overseas.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm also trying to still keep it, you know, like a cool middle ground, you know, where I still rap with my Aussie accent.
Yeah.
And, you know, trying to find that middle ground so that Americans can take it in and understand it, but it's not too distant, and sort of shows that, you know, the Australian accent isn't as far out as they think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because, to be fair, they might say like Spaniard on Instagram and go like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, because when I went to Europe last year, and I was in a bar in Amsterdam or Rome, and I was just talking normally, and I must have laughed out loud or like said something out loud, and someone, like a girl, came up to me and she's like, you're from Western Sydney. Like, straight, like...
What?
Yeah, an Aussie girl. She's like, you're from Western Sydney.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. Like, I am. And then she was like, yeah, like, you can tell. Oh, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean you can tell?
Yeah.
And she just said, like, you guys speak so distinctly.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's maybe how Americans, like, hear us as a whole, right? That accent.
And, yeah, most, like, they just hear it as, like, yeah, it's kind of English. Like, they'll do, like, you know, like, the amount of times people come up to me, like, all the people I hang out with, like, I'll be hanging out with someone from America, and they're like, all right, mate.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, come on. Not quite.
God bless them. Right, so let's go back in time. September 2017, your first thing on your YouTube is the Losing Interest beat. Fascinating, bro. So for those listening, Shiloh Dynasty sample. Shiloh Dynasty is still anonymous, eh?
Yeah, hidden.
Yeah, but couldn't tell you who or she is. Like, no one knows any details. It's just this person that their mouth was the only thing in the video, and they'd sing in like on these old Instagram. XXXTentacion was the person who brought them to fame.
Yes.
That time you do quite well, bro. I see a lot of people in the comments like going like, "Fuck, let me buy a beat," like "Let me buy the beat" or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the next year, 2018, is that right? You released your EP Wake Up.
Yes.
Now, I remember not 2018, but like 2019, 2020, you came across like at least my radar, right?
Cool.
In 2018, what was the reaction like locally to your EP?
Man, there wasn't really much because I just sort of on a whim decided, cool, I'm gonna start dropping music, you know? Like I would make joke songs with my friends and just like Suicide Boys, like rap, like hard dark shit. Like I was just making songs for fun and I made this song called Don't Play It. It was on my project and it was like, I was just like, what would Travis Scott do? I was just like a straight rip of Travis Scott.
Yeah.
But like my boys came around, they listened to it and they're like, no way. Like it was like the first like song, you know what I mean? Where I was like, oh, this sounds like stuff I hear, you know?
Yeah.
And they were like, cool, we're dropping it tonight.
Yeah.
And so like they made me like submit it and we made it cover art on Photoshop and put it out. So I didn't really have a whole lot of, you know, it's like you don't develop a listener base, you know, it was like for my friends and family. And I just went, cool, I'm gonna drop an album December, it's coming out. And I hadn't made a single song. So I was like, probably should get to making these songs. So I like made a few songs and put it out and you know, it didn't really do anything, but what it did do was get me on Ziggy's radar. I don't know how he found me. I think I actually sent an email trying to get a Leroy feature like 2018, like very, very much at the start of 2018, like just before shit went crazy for him, you know?
Yeah, what's out by then? Let You Go?
No. That was before all of that. That was maybe it was
Blessings?
Blessings was out, I think. And I sent an email. And I think Zig hit back because he was managing him at the time and went, oh, yeah, he's not doing features, but keep doing you, man. And then sort of I was on his radar. So then eventually he was like, hey, bro, come to Sydney, start doing stuff. And he sort of got me into, you know, the scene, got me to meet people like Manu and B-Wise, you know what I mean? Like, and then from there, shit just kind of went. But as far as like the project, it didn't really do very well. But it was like the building blocks I needed to be like, this is how you make a project. This is how you make songs that people want to hear over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta start somewhere.
Definitely.
You grind for years. Fuck. Before this T-Pain stuff, so for those who may not be fully aware of the story, the tale goes, T-Pain was doing lives, I think it was during COVID.
Yeah.
And that, like, he was getting really good numbers, and there was a Discord you could submit to. Mason submits to it. He gets reacted to. Smart, fucking very smart. You put it on TikTok. Yeah. Added like a touch to it, you know. So
yeah, just
like
me sitting there looking at it, laughing along with him.
Yeah. And that's how he got big. But before this, and it's on your YouTube, so it's not like crazy information.
Yeah.
You submit to DJ Akademiks online, which in the scale of him just reacting to music, it's not crazily uncommon. For an Australian artist to be doing it out of his bedroom in Newcastle was very uncommon.
Yeah.
Where did that all come from?
Well, I don't. So I don't know. It was at the time Akademiks was going live a lot, and he was just like every now and then he'd be like, "All right, cool. If you donate whatever, like just put a link there. I'll listen to it." And he was doing one of those streams. And me and my boys were like, "Holy shit, Akademiks is doing this!" Like, we'll see. And all I had to do was donate $5, and I put the link there. It was just to my song Slide that was on the project. And we were like, fuck, no way. Like, it was just like something, we didn't know it was like a thing. We just, like, all right, cool. And he reacted to it. And the whole stream, like, he didn't fuck with anything. And then my song came on and he was like, ooh, and just like started like going crazy. And he was like, man, you might have to write me a song. Because back then he was doing like his little act thing, like dropping songs and stuff. So it was just like, yeah, it was crazy. We were just like so hyped because like, that was like sort of like the first thing that was outside of our bubble that had heard my music.
Yeah.
And then like, on SoundCloud, the song got like fucking like 1,000 views, and I was like, no way.
Yeah.
And you know, we went crazy. It was like such a cool little moment for us.
Was he doing that show with Nebraska and?
Yeah. They were doing Everyday Struggle, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that show was fucking unreal, bro. That was one of my favorite
shows
in the hip hop industry. Like
insane dynamic.
Yes, I've never seen a dynamic like. Three of the weirdest humans. Nebraska was cool. She was like the calm, like straight man, you know? Yeah, she had this balanced energy. And then you had Joe and Akademiks. And Akademiks is a bit of a like, I don't know, you kind of would like get bullied by Joe, and then sometimes he'd bully Joe, and you're like, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah, and then that episode with Lil Yachty, where he's like Joe Budden's like screaming at Lil Yachty, being like, you're not allowed to have fun. Like, where's the real hip hop? And he's like, bro, relax. It was so good.
But I was thinking about it last night when I was looking at it, because I like, when that show quit, I just followed unfollowed Akademiks and all that, so I hadn't like, he still crosses my path obviously, but like I hadn't just thought about it, and I was just sitting there, I was like, fuck, why do I like Akademiks again? And it just hit me that show, and I was like, fuck. Joe Bunt, he fell off as well. He did another show after it.
Yeah, he's got like a podcast that's going now, that like every now and then they have some viral clips, but they stay consistent with it. They just did one with Vince Staples. It was hilarious.
Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah,
he's different.
He's good.
He's such a good artist. But yeah, after the Akademiks thing, that's pretty cool.
It's very cool, yeah. Especially at the time.
Yeah, what year's that?
That was just when I put the project out. It would have been late 2018.
Yeah, wow. How old are you that time?
18.
So 2000?
Yeah, 2000.
Yeah, same, yeah. And then you go on for a few years, Dash comes out. And I feel like Dash was something that just kind of like Australian hip-hop's like, oh, new kid on the block, Mason Dane from Newcastle, Dash. That's kind of like what, you know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, I've heard this name, let me see what it's all about. Dash, unreal. Fuck, bro, it did so well. That kind of puts you into new levels of like success, I feel. How did that make you feel?
Gratifying, bro. But I mean, the thing is with Dash, like me and Liam made that song in like 15 minutes, you know, at the studio, and we went, oh, it's pretty mad. Because a lot of the time we do a session, we'll start off with like a quick hip hop song, run it, and then delve into whatever we want to do. And we made that song, and you know, everyone we were playing with, we were like, this one's kind of crazy, and it was like pretty different from what I've been doing, but still in that world. But we made it, and we were like, this one kind of goes. Maybe we should just do it. Let's just put it out. And we, went and spent money on a video on it, and we put it out. And we're like, this is the one, bro. This is the one. And then did like 9,000 streams in the first couple months. Didn't do what I thought it would, and then the T-Pain thing happened, and it just like sent the shit through the roof. Like there were a couple days where it did 50,000 streams in a day. Like just
shows it screams like that Fetty Wap story of like Track Queen. Does fuck all for 9 months. 6 months. Boom. Millions.
Even think about for Australia, bro, like Mouse Wolf.
Yeah.
That Rolling Down in the Deep song, like that song came out in 2019 or like 2018 and popped in like 2021.
Yeah.
And like you just never know what's gonna go, but man, I just really believed in that song. I really believed in Dash. I was like, this is the one. And it didn't go, fuck man. Yeah. Really thought it was. So we were about to move on, and then the T-Pain thing happened, and then the song just went nuts, bro. It was my first song to do 1 million, and I'm like...
Yeah. So with the Discord, when you're submitting a song to T-Pain's stream, are you sitting there going, do I put Dash forward to it, or are you fucking balls to the wall? You're like, yeah, definitely has to be
I'm like, yeah, it's gotta be Dash. You know what I mean? And that was like, the first one where it's like a real, like a solid music video. I'm like, yeah, this is mad, So I was like, there was no hesitation that it was Dash.
Yeah.
And because it was the new one, we were like, bro, he's gonna love it. We were like, he's either gonna love it or he's gonna fucking hate it.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of both. He wanted to hate it so bad that he loved it.
Yeah.
And then just had that hilarious reaction.
Because it was off the back of the 1-4 reaction, hey.
Yeah. So I saw him react to 1-4, Young and Lips, A Huncho. I saw like all those reactions. And I was like, bro, what the fuck? T-Pain listening to these people, like. How's that happening? Like, and I hit Take Flight. I was like, bro, how are they getting this song to him?
Yeah.
And we were like trying to figure it out. And I finally found this like Discord, and I sat around, bro, and I waited like weeks because it's like there's this channel and he opens it for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And he goes, you get your link in, we go through them all, and like harsh critique,
Yeah.
And so I was waiting for weeks for it to happen, and I was just on my computer one day and I was like, get your links ready. I was like, there we go.
Yeah.
Fucking sent it in, and it all went.
That's mad, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out Wings while I'm at it.
Shout out Wings.
So in that rush of like submitting it,
yeah,
and then he's reacting to it, like T-Pain's about to react to your song, like the king of the 2000s, like him and Akon, bro. They're just raw with an iron fist. Everything they touch turn to gold. 100%. You're sitting there. What are you thinking? Like when he's about to, or when he starts playing it, are you like praying, or are you like?
Yeah, bro. So the thing is, like the second I got it in, I hit everybody I knew. I hit my family. I hit my friends. I'm like, boys, T-Pain's back to this. Dash, you getting this goddamn stream right now. And so everyone's in there, and I'm on like a Discord call with like all my boys, and it goes, and we're just like, oh. Because like for the first like minute and a half, like dead silence, he's just looking, and slowly his face sort of turns up, and he gets that sort of stank face, and then he pauses and just goes, man, fuck this guy, man. Like, oh, I hate this so bad. And it's had that crazy reaction. We were just like, no way. And like, I'm not the type to really get like overly excited about, like, I'm usually like, fuck, that's mad, you know? But I was just like, holy shit. And then he ran it back and did it again. And then he ran it back and did it again. And he was like, man, fuck. And like, that was just, yeah, I mean, it's crazy because like, just like you, just like pretty much everybody, I grew up listening to T-Pain too. You know, like, it was so crazy to see how that all worked, you know?
Yeah. And so you smart in it, like, you'd think this is fucking common sense, but it's not, because artists don't do it. You, in a rush, go, fuck, I'm gonna get this on TikTok. You put it on YouTube. YouTube did good. You put like a title with emojis, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching it on YouTube and going, what the fuck, why does he put emojis to this? And clicked on it and I go, oh fuck, like the Mason's got his reaction. Yeah. But you put it on TikTok and what was the views on the TikTok? There had to be 1 million or something.
Yeah, so the first night I put it up, we went, this feels viral. So we put it up, I went to bed and I woke up and it had 1 million views and I went, sick. I wake up and I go like, bro, Megan Trainor follows me, fucking YouTuber Will and E follows me, like all these people like follow me and I'm like, oh, this is it. This is it. I'm famous, bro. And like, you know, a million views. And then, you know, it keeps going right now. It's still like sitting at like 7 million views on TikTok. Like,
that's cool. Did you follow Will and E and Megan Trainor beforehand?
No, but I knew that, like, I used to watch Will and E a lot, you know, watch all of them boys, like Megan Trainor. It's like one of those ones where, you know, like, you know them, but you don't necessarily follow them.
How did you catch them then? Like, following you?
Because, like, I mean, I didn't have hella followers at the time. Like, it would just be like, this and this. And I'd go through my DM requests and, like, so many people in my DM requests, like, Will I need to show me a DM, like, you're cold, bro. And I was like, no way, bro. You know? It was just, and it was, like, so crazy. I just close my TikTok app and reopen it and go, 99 plus. I'm like,
yeah, I've had that. I have a TikTok account that does pretty well. Sporting Club Helos, like an entity on Helos.
Let's go.
Sporting, and bro, does like thing. I had a moment like that with Helos. I've had it a few times. You know Enchway?
Yeah, that's my guy, bro.
Yeah, so when Enchway was like the DJ, now he's part of this. It's so funny. So fucking funny. But like we loved him, right? Like he's such a fucking good. Him and Lude came up at the same time.
Nice.
And like it come up like one morning like. Enchway is now your friend on TikTok, and Joey Manu is now your friend on TikTok. Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? Like this is, I don't know what to do with this.
It's crazy.
And you upload it, it does well numbers, and further puts you in like pole position, essentially.
100%.
How does the T-Pain thing come about now? Like, does he reach out to you? Do you reach out to him? Do you tell Zig to fucking get me his phone? Or?
Yeah, so it was like a bunch of little things, because we were like, man, we gotta make sure we do some shit here. Yeah. So, you know, everything, for the first like month or two, everything was in the public eye, you know. I'm back in his Twitch stream. Like the next day I go, what's up? And he goes, oh man, yeah, I checked you out. Nice, bro. Crazy. And we jump back in and, you know, like every now and then I'm just popping my face in his stream. He's remember my name. I send him some music. He goes, fuck, this is mad. And then it comes around, it's like Aria time. And I'm going to watch it at Warner Australia, at their offices. Yeah. And I get in the car and there's nothing. He goes, get your links ready. And the next day, my song Stay Down was dropping, the music video, which was like my coolest music video. My dad jumps off the fucking roof into the pool. Like, it was mad. So I was like, cool. I sent it in. And I said, here's the next song. Go into the arias. Don't watch the thing. Start getting hella posts. Take Flight goes, T-Pain wants to sign Mason Dane to Nappy Boy. And I go, what the fuck? I gotta check this out. And he like opens the clip and goes, oh, this is the guy I've been telling you about, talking to all these boys. He's like, this is Nappy Boy entertainment material. Fucking, we need to sign Mason Dane. We need to get him out here real quick. And that's when Zig stepped in and went, cool, let me handle it. And he, you know, connected with them. And then we were like a barbecue, and Zig just goes, yeah, I spoke to T-Pain yesterday on the phone. I went, you just tell me now, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, cool, I'll put you in a group chat. And then I, you know, got to FaceTime him and chop it up. And, you know, he's like, man, I'm so proud of you, bro. I was like, what? You're proud of me? What? He's like, man, just seeing things going right now, it's like so cool. And I know you don't want to ask, but if you want a verse, I got you on a verse. You want to do Dash remix, Stay Down remix, or a new song, whatever, just let me know, I got you.
What did he like the most, Dash?
So we sort of came to the agreement that Dash would be the best thing because the clip went viral. He's like, oh, I hate this song so bad. We're like, this is what people will love, you know? When he finished it, he went, I have to...
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck, I may have to do Stay Down as well. Like, he was going to do Stay Down. Because I was like, bro, he would slide so much harder on Stay Down.
Yeah.
But also, the verse he did on Dash was pretty fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, it was crazy, man.
When I listened to Dash, the reason I asked was I was like, I wondered if you answered it right. It's like, that's by far the most fitting. But I was like, there's more songs that Mason had, but I was like, I reckon T-Pain might have wanted to do that.
I know, bro. But we were just like, bro, we need to wrap up this story with a nice bow.
Yeah.
Have him come back, do the video, and like, you know, we did the video where I just like walk into his house and I'm like, I'm here, bro. What's up? You said you want me to come down. I'm here. Let's do it. You know, and he's like, we shoot the video. He's like, all right, get the fuck out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we just wanted to make sure that it like fit the thing. But he little fun fact, he was gonna do some backing vocals on Chasing Home, like on the project. Like we were gonna have him do a bunch of things. He was just like, nah, the songs are so good. Like I don't want to touch them. So,
yeah, that's sick.
But yeah, he was gonna do some stuff.
How does it feel to have him as a fan?
Crazy, fucking nuts.
Because he'd have such a critical brain.
Yeah, and like so musical, and he's heard so much music and he's made so much music. So like,
yeah,
you know, when I went to his place and got to play him some unreleased stuff, and he was just like losing his mind. I was like, man, this is fucking nuts.
You don't have to answer if you don't want to. But at any point would he turn around and be like, nah, like this ain't it?
Nah, he was fucking with it all. But I mean, I was showing him all my best stuff, you know, and I hope that if he didn't fuck with something, he'd tell me, you know. And he does. He's very very straightforward, you know.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I've always wondered when you were over there with him, I was like, I wonder if T-Pain's having a harsh conversation on terms of like, I think like you can do better at this, but if he loves everything you
man, he was like, bro, I got no notes. Like it was so cool, and but he was also like telling me a lot about, you know, just industry stuff, like teaching me a lot, you know, being like, when you have like a deal like this, like look for this, or, you know, teaching me the importance of like, instead of just getting paid for a collaboration with a brand or something, it's like, no, like what can you get out of it? Like what can you do? Like, you know, let's just say Culture Kings want to give you money for this to just promote me, and he goes, well, no, you could just go, well, don't pay me anything, but let's get like, you know, Mason Dane chasing home duffel bags in the store, you know, like just cool stuff like that, like just how to grow the brand essentially, like just like a lot of stuff too. Like he really told me a lot in the sort of like couple of weeks that I've collectively spent time with him.
Yeah, so how long were you over there first time?
First time was short. I was there for 10 days. I spent 5 days in LA. So I probably spent like 3 or 4 days with Kane.
Yeah.
It was mad. He took me to the strip club.
How was that?
Gas. Magic City. Magic City, it was so sick.
Gas.
Yeah, gas. Different gravy over there, brother.
It's a culture over there, right? Like
big culture, yeah.
It's like their club almost, isn't it? Like,
yeah, that's where songs break through. That's a big thing. At Magic City they sell wings. You get wings, you know, strippers going on. And you just having a feed and, you know, getting drunk and shit. It was mad. But that night I blacked out.
Oh, true.
Like right at the end of the night, vodka.
Oh fuck! What vodka? Just like normal.
Yeah, like so when we got there, we hung out and he was like, cool, here's the plan. We're gonna go get in my car. We're gonna go buy liquor because I'm out of liquor, and he's got like a club in his house, pretty much like a. It's
crazy, eh? Yeah.
Yeah. So we go and buy a bunch of alcohol. He's like, he loves the Class A Azul, like the tequila with the bell. And he's just like going for. There's like this $5,000 bottle. He's like, I want it so bad, and we're like, don't. You don't need it, bro. And like, so yeah, he just bought it. So he's like, everyone go get what you want. It was like me, the last edition, and my manager Dane. And he was like, go get what you want, but hey, don't let anybody touch your shit. Get your own bottle. Get what you need. Yeah. So do that. Load it back into his fucking Rolls Royce Cullinan, biggest car I've ever been in. And then we go back, drink, do a reaction stream, which is cool, full circle moment. Yeah. And then went to the strip club. So I was already drunk by then. And I told him, he's like, do you want some tequila? I was like, no, I don't like tequila. Like, I fuck with vodka. So then we get to the strip club. I'm already pretty smacked. And he brings out a bottle of tequila to the table. Oh. And I'm like, I'm already lit. I'll have some. Let's go. And I go to start to pour it out. He goes, no. I got you. And like, I bought you a bottle of vodka. bottle of Ciroc, and I drank nearly the whole thing. And I'm like, turn out, I'm having a great time. Probably there's like a video of me like in the club, like, because obviously he walks into a club, everyone plays his music.
Yeah.
They put on like Sprung. I'm Sprung.
Oh,
and I'm like in his
God.
face. I'm in his face and I'm rapping at him, and he's like, song's trash. So I like put it on. They like we're just having a great time, and then we finish up, and we come outside, and I'm about to leave, and like we had the last edition with this film and everything, like vlogging it. Like I still haven't put them out. I've been editing them slowly.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I blacked out. And it's all on video, and you can see me just like I'm so slumped. It's so funny, bro.
Fuck. So that's so that's the first trip.
That's the first trip, yeah. Second trip, we come out again. He's on tour, a tour that I was meant to open for, but I couldn't get a work visa. So we went.
Fucking sucks.
I know, bro. It sucks, but it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we go to his show in Chicago. He's got two nights in Chicago. We went to those, and then his festival in Wisconsin, Fest. So we go to the shows, go to the club. Like it came out the night that we were at his Chicago show,
Yeah.
and so we're in the club. He's playing it in the club. I'm like, yeah, we turn it up, and then we went to his festival and just got to hang out with him, and then hung out with him again back in Atlanta. Just go over to his house, hang out, drink, do a fucking stream.
Yeah.
That was the second trip. Third trip, we only caught him once, but it was just pulled up to his house while he was on stream, and he did the sus freestyle bars, and that was just another bar room, and we went cool, clip it, went off again. Yeah, bro, but yeah, it's been so good to have someone like that to
lean on.
Yeah, and just to like, even like to this day, I'm always sending him songs. He's hitting me with feedback, being like, "Man, this shit's crazy," or "I like this," like it's surreal, bro. Surreal.
Is it weird like T-Pain is a friend?
Yeah, sometimes it's like, it's kind of funny too because his name's so normalized in my head now that when I hear T-Pain, sometimes I forget that like. Yeah. Someone that I grew up listening to.
100.
His name, like, Payne is just so, like, in my brain is, like, a regular name now that sometimes, I take a step back and I'm like, I'm just super grateful, bro.
Yeah, 100. Bro, Nick Air, who runs this, he's like the GOAT growing up. He used to do all those skate and BMX videos. Gets, like, millions of views back in the day. And he'd do it at Windsor and Penrith Skate Park. And, like, I always forget, like Nick Air, when people talk about him and they're, like, all, like, Bam Bam and shit, like... I just go like I take a step back sometimes, like fuck, like I forget, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
like,
crazy.
I forget. After all the T-Pain stuff takes off, which is fucking, it's cool, man. It's like
very cool.
It's crazy. But in terms of pinch me moments, because with pinch me moments, I've spoken to this about people because I've done interviews with like people that are pretty big. And people go, oh, they pinch me moments. Like, nah, there's like small things at the start where like someone gives you a chance when you don't have anything going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What have your pinch me moments been?
Well, I think the headline got buried almost. So the week before the T-Pain shit happened, I see an AU Dolls interview and 360 goes, bro, Mason is the jackpot, bro. Like Mason Dane is so sick. Like 360 shouted me out and I was like, holy shit. Like that was such a crazy, like me in school, like,
falling and flying out.
Yeah, falling and flying, bro. I'm like, I used to rock my snapback backwards and cuz used to like rip on me and say I'm trying to look like 360. I'm like, alright, whatever. And like to have him, like, bro, I used to listen to him so much, like falling and flying, like.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a crazy moment. There's obviously a lot of cool moments with Payne. Like there was, just like playing pool with him. Like I beat him in pool. You know what I mean? That's sucking pool. But we beat him and then like. Just chuckling, he goes, man, I love you, bro. And I was like, oh. Like, that was a very special moment. Like, there's heaps of stuff, man. It's, I did a show in Newcastle on my tour last year, and we sold out this super little venue, Uptowns, and we put like 120 people in this like tiny venue, and my parents were there. It was, the first time my parents coming to see my show, and like, my mom's like crying, like, like, that was like super special, like, something like that.
Have you had someone recognise you? Because I've had that before. And fuck. Like,
yeah, I get that a lot now. So like, especially when I was still living in Sydney, every time I'd be at like Liverpool at the Westfield, a lot of the time people would come up and say what's up. In Newcastle, it happens a lot now when I go out.
Yeah.
It's cool. I one of the coolest, that's probably a pinch me moment. It was when I was in Chicago. I was at Nike just with my manager, and these guys come like, oh yeah, this guy with T-Pain. And we got a photo, like, took a photo with some guys from Chicago. Like, that was crazy. That was like, all the way over here. Like, that was a real nuts one.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Bro, nothing like yours. But on TikTok, I do like a Sunday League series.
Yeah.
So I like hop on and I do like a video. Like, it's, you know, you remember State of Origin, Gus Gould? Like,
yeah.
I do their fucking Blacks on Red like Sunday League.
Man.
And they did well. Like, some got like 400K.
Sick.
And, but like, for me, it's kind of like hanging around with the boys, like, hanging around people that get noticed, it kind of like you don't bat an eye. But then it got to a point, bro, where like one of the boys would be in his game jersey at Costco near the airport. And
someone comes up to you?
Someone goes up to like Peter, who's not even in the videos, and he goes, oh, did you win today? And Pete's like, yeah, sure. Like, I did. He's like, what? And Pete's trying to figure out, he goes, oh yeah, I love your TikToks, bro. And then Pete just like goes on his way.
Yeah, right.
Crazy, right? And
yeah, it's one of those ones like, oh shit.
Yeah. And you go back, you're like, oh, people actually like pay attention.
Yeah, 100%. One of the first times with that for me, like we were going to some venue and I was getting out of the Uber or whatever to get to this place, and like at the time I was doing keto and I lost like a bunch of weight. And I'm like sitting here, I'm like, I got like a shoelace belt and I'm like tying it up because my pants are fucking falling down because I lost all this weight. And someone goes, yeah, you. And I'm with Day One, and he's like real like
yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, like pretty popping. Like everyone, whenever you go out, kids are yelling at him, and you know what I mean. So I'm like, oh, just talking to him. And she goes, yeah, you. And I looked up, I'm like, fuck me. And then she was like, yeah. And I was like, oh shit. And like, I was so caught off guard that like, I almost like frozen. Was like, I don't even know what to say. So that was like, it's always funny when it happens like that, when you're not expecting it, and you're sort of like, oh shit, yeah. Yeah,
it's a funny thing. What about people like that you, like T-Pain's a good example, right? Like he knows you and you know him you knew him from way longer than he knows you. Is there any other people out there that like you've kind of looked up to maybe along the way or like respected heavily in their like in the music industry or any industry, and then they've been like, oh yeah bro, I see shit, like I rate you?
Yeah, for sure, definitely Leroy at the start, like, you know, really fucked with Leroy. I was trying to get him on a song way back in the day.
Yeah.
And just to sort of have it come full circle, and you know, he's like, yeah, send me music, let me hear, you know, a lot of the time.
You want to get him on a song?
Yeah, like it'd be amazing. Like obviously it's not super realistic, but you know, I think personally, bro, if it just takes one song, you know, on one of his albums with an Australian artist, and just like it opens a door for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be crazy.
I had this idea for Leroy. Let me know what you think.
Yeah.
Leroy, if you're listening, it's all yours. I couldn't care. If anyone else steals it, you're a prick. No one else can really. So obviously he's gone overseas, right? America's his new home. No problem with it. Tall poppy syndrome in Australia is fucking horrible. So people are just trying to tear him down all the time.
Yeah.
I say more life to the kid. If he was still in Redfern, this wouldn't be happening. But I reckon he should do an album or like a project where it's called the Homecoming Tour. And he should just do fucking features with the coolest Australian artists. Like it doesn't have to be like one for yourself. It doesn't have to be strictly hip hop.
Yeah, like, it can be like, you know,
anyone, like Flume. I don't know. You know what I mean? That's just straight off the top of the dome. But like I just want him to do this thing where he just comes home and he just does this fucking mad album with strictly Australian or New Zealand artists.
That'd be crazy.
I had that idea back in the day. I was like, that would be really cool. I'd love to see that.
Or like come back and throw like a festival or something would be cool.
Yeah. It's weird in America how artists actually throw their own festivals. Like that'd be so.
Yeah, Tyler Creator and J. Cole does it too. Like there's a bunch of people who throw their own festivals. It's cool.
That's such a foreign concept over here.
Yeah, I just think we don't really have the infrastructure yet. Like we're getting there to the point where someone could put on a festival, but at this point it's like you could put on a festival and you could probably get like a few big artists on it. Like it's not the point where like America, like Tyler Creator's thing would be like Drake, Frank Ocean, SZA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's so many massive artists that you can get onto it. Whereas like we're still growing, but it's getting more exponential every year, and like, you know, more and more people making music. So it'll happen, man.
I think with hip hop as well as the police pressure. That's like a.
Oh yeah, exactly, and that just stands in the way of like, especially most of the big artists now like can't even do shows. So it's a stitch up, but.
Do you want to tap into that drill for features and stuff?
No, it's just not me. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a hard guy.
No, not you do drill, but like.
Oh, like have people? Yeah,
like 1/4. Like
it really just depends on the song, you know. Like for me, like, I mean, I don't really make drill songs at all. Like I've got a couple songs that have that sort of like. Yeah. But they're sort of like more like hyper poppy sounding, or like, you know what I mean, like super different. But I mean, if the song's dope, I'm open to anything.
Yeah, I feel like you could do a fucking beautiful alley-oop to a mad verses. You know what I'm saying? You're one of those artists that can really just...
And I think I could keep up rapping with a lot of people too. Like, I think it'd be fun.
In terms of rapping, like I feel like your singing is like levels, right?
Thanks.
In terms of rapping, bar for bar, do you reckon you go toe to toe with anyone?
As humbly as possible, yeah. I think so. I think I'm pretty dope. I think
you're dope too, for sure. I think you're sick. I think your singing is kind of what I notice the most.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I love singing, and I probably like singing and making more pop sounding music than I do rapping these days. But you know, there's times where I come out and go, I can rap. Like, you know, I did Bars of Steel, and you know, I kind of spit my ass off for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And, you know, did all sides of the spectrum. I did like, you know, just talking my shit, punchlines, and then, you know, finish it off with like a tribute to my uncle who passed away, you know, like, you know, I think so. I'd like to think so.
Did you see, is it Young Marta?
Young Marta, yeah, he just did one too, yeah.
Yeah.
The acapella at the end and shit.
Yeah, the guy comes in, he's like, rap like an Australian or something.
Oh, it's the comments,
yeah. Bro, that was, Did you watch how he spelled Bars of Steel?
Nah. Oh, yeah, I did, yeah.
That's like OG shit, eh? It's like,
crazy, huh?
I'm going to come just fuck it up and then just go back to
and then he's like, cool, and I'm out.
Yeah. So cool. I have a question for you. I mentioned it earlier to make sure it was all good to me.
Yeah.
I think this is what you've been mentioning throughout the podcast. Uncle Lewis.
That's not what I've been mentioning, but yeah, Uncle Louie, yeah.
Alright, so if you scroll down on Mason's Instagram, you'll see on the earlier post, who is Uncle Lewis? And
so
what's the story?
Yeah, so Lewis, man, he's such a legend. So my mom, on her side of the family, like my mom's auntie, like married this guy Louis from he's from the States. He is just like a legendary bass player. He wrote the bass line for Billie Jean by Michael Jackson, like played for Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin. Like he invented slap bass, you know, like he's like a real legend. And when I was a kid, my mom would tell me about him. I didn't really know what was going on. And one time she was like, Uncle Louie, we were telling him about you. He wants to meet you and jam, like make some, you know, play some music.
So is your auntie living over there?
No, so he lived in Australia. He lived in Melbourne. He came over, and he just, you know, he was, you know, 60 and, you know, just living off, you know, had hella money because he was fucking, you know, produced songs for Michael Jackson and stuff like that. Like he worked on Thriller a lot. And I never knew him. And when I was young, my mom was like, hey, do you want to meet Louie and, you know, play some songs with him? And, fuck yeah, I want to fucking meet him. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And at the time, we were doing, for my music class in year 9, I think it was, we had to do, create a fake radio show. And they're like, oh, and there needs to be an interview in there. And I went, we'll just interview Louie. And he was like, yeah, I'm down. And flew up from Melbourne and came to my house. And we had a 2-hour conversation and recorded it.
It's crazy, bro.
And that was my first time meeting him. And it was crazy. He's talking about being on tour with Michael Jackson back in the day. Michael Jackson came on his tour because he was in a band with his brothers called the Brothers Johnson.
Yeah.
And they had a couple of hits, and Michael would just come on tour with them. And he's like, Michael was drunk and jumping on the speakers and all this stuff. You know, we'd go out and party all night, and then we'd miss the flight to the next country. And he just had so many stories, and he was, you know, just a wise guy, bro. And me and him got super close. I'd go down to Melbourne and spend time with him. I taught him how to play the ukulele, and
that's cool.
He taught me a lot. And yeah, me and him were just super tight. He passed away in 2015. He was over in the States about to do some stuff with Quincy Jones or something. But yeah, really a real legend, man. It was crazy.
That's a crazy influence to have. Do you realize how crazy that is?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, at the time, you know, I always knew it was special, and always knew it was this is so crazy. I almost just sort of wish that I was making music back then. So it was we could really do some cool shit and have some shit that's this is what we did together. But I just cherish all the time I had with him, bro.
I think it's more I think it's probably more beautiful that you don't have a
100%.
song.
Yeah.
And that everything you do is most probably influenced by him at some, like, everything is a product of his influence.
100%, yeah, man. And he was just so dope, bro. And yeah, he has just some ridiculous stories, man.
Do you think that itself kind of set you on your way to be destined to do great things?
Yeah, maybe. It definitely was.
Because what, you're 23, you're my age, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking, bro, what you've done so far is nuts. Like,
it's cool, man. I don't know if it's directly plays into it, but definitely I think it's you know, good to have someone like that watching over, fucking pushing things, and he was, you know, it was more inspiring, you know, like it just at that time, like I'd sort of stopped playing music, like because it got to the point where I was more like, I think my dad's more excited for me to play music than I am, and I was sort of like just kick back for a bit, but it definitely lit that fire in me again, being like, man, like, you know,
good do it.
Yeah, 100%. But back then, I never even had the thought to write my own song. Like I would just play songs, do covers on Facebook. You know what I mean? Like I just play songs.
Yeah, that thing you mentioned before, it happens a lot in sport. Like my dad was more excited for me to.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Yeah.
In sport, where you just see guys that just clearly don't want to do it, but their dad did make the league, so they're fucking dad.
Yeah, somewhere at home. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a crazy. I did not expect that for an answer.
I know it's crazy, and it's cool. It's like the first time I've really talked about it, but he he's a real special guy, man.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Lewis Johnson, for sure.
What I gotta ask, like, how does he end up in Melbourne?
Melbourne. So I think he just maybe was out here doing shows or something, and somehow met my great auntie, and I don't know. They just got married, and I guess they decided that they'd settle down in Melbourne.
That's cool.
Yeah, and you know they just chilled. They just had this apartment on the beach, and yeah, he was just so cool, bro. And like we went to like go to Luna Park and just go hang out, and he'd just tell me stories and teach me about people, you know, how to, you know, deal with certain people. And yeah, man, he's so cool. One time we were sitting at dinner and he just starts the story and he just goes, so me and Paul McCartney got mobbed by paparazzi in London one time, and I was like, whatever, bro, like fucking he got like the craziest stories ever. And he just was like so like soft spoken and well spoken, but like he gets on the bass and just like bang, 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 like nuts. A crazy talent, like a real like legend, like created like slap bass, like it's nuts.
Yeah, wow, bro, that is fucking crazy. Me and Paul.
But before anybody says it, it's not nepotism. I didn't even make music back then. I know everyone's always like, oh fucking. I remember this one person was like, something happened and they were like, oh, well, fucking Mason Dane's mum writes all these songs. Like, I told him because like my mum wrote my first song with me.
Yeah.
And someone
That's a fucking...
Yeah, so someone was like just like mad about something and went, oh, well fucking, we can't all have mums in the industry who write. So I'm like, mum's in the fucking industry, bro. She just helped me write one of the songs before I ever made anything. So, yeah. But very cool to Lewis Johnson. Uncle Louie.
Yeah, that's amazing. And second of all, the mother thing. That is a fucking... Bro, how can people be so sad? That's such a beautiful thing. I didn't even know that. That's such a beautiful thing that you share with your mum. Like, you wrote a song together and then someone still finds a way to turn it into a negative.
Yeah, people just... I don't know. I think people... I mean, luckily, that's sort of the only incident I've had with it. But a lot of people, like... Everyone just wants to be able to, like, discredit things so quickly, you know?
Yeah.
You know, that's a thing that happened with Leroy. A lot of people are like, oh, his dad's in the industry and his mum's in the industry. And it's like... Nah, he sort of like did his own thing. Yeah. You know? Yeah,
because bro, I had Solo on.
Yep.
And then I had BY's on.
Yeah.
And like...
And they both spent so much time with him, you know? He'd like live at Solo's house.
And Will Star as well. And all three of them, bro, people have asked me off screen, like mates that like enjoy music. They're like, is Leroy a plant? Like, nah.
No.
Bro, that kid lived it. Like,
and as well, people don't realise how popping he was here before he even signed a deal over there.
Yeah.
Like, you know, with Blessings and stuff, like, there was that show that they did with 111, which was the No Jumper show, and they broke the floor of the venue, and it was packed out, pouring out onto the street. Like, it's not like he signed when he was nobody and got industry connects. Like, it was, you know, he hustled, man.
Yeah, that... You have that same hustle, bro. There's like an ingenuity in Australia where it's like, I have to figure this out in a different way. You did it with like how you submitted to streams and then how you clipped it up, put it up.
Yeah.
Leroy did it with like, I'm pretty sure it's Ray Shrumman that he got his foot in the door with.
Yeah. There's a bunch of people.
Is that Leroy or is that someone else?
Yeah, no, Ray Shrumman, he like hung out outside their hotel and like the girls who were up in the room, he was like, show my music, tell them I'm downstairs.
Yeah.
He'd do that. But Lil Skies was the guy who like, he got a feature from him and it like, went crazy.
And Juice WRLD.
Juice WRLD was after, but like, I think the first big one was that Lil Skies posted a snippet of a song with them together, and everyone was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and then, have you seen that Jay Verse kid?
Yeah, Jay Verse, he's a crazy hustler, bro.
Yeah.
Always like outside with the speaker and like, that's a hustle that not a lot of people have. Like, I don't, like even me, I feel like I don't have that hustle. Like I don't have the fucking nuts to do that. You know, go and wait outside and be like, just rap for someone. Like, it's cool, bro. It takes guts, and he's a fucking hustler, bro.
For those listening, Jay Verse, he'll get like a JBL, like the ones you can roll, and he'll wait outside like when an artist is in the country, or like just even doing like a Culture Kings, like fucking.
He rapped for Shaq.
Yeah. Yes. That's what I was trying to think. Like there was someone that was an artist, but he'll just find a famous person, get his mate with the phone behind him, film him, and he just put his beat on the JBL, and then he'll just start rapping his own song or whatever. And like, he's just done it, bro. He's killed it from an age.
Yeah, bro. And he's real young too, I think. I think he might have only just turned 18. Or maybe he's younger. But I remember because on my tour last year, he was one of the openers. He opened for me in Melbourne, and I'm pretty sure he like had to like he was there with like an adult, like with like a parent or something, because he was young and had to perform at like a over 18s venue.
What's it like national touring?
It was cool. I've only done one, and it was when the iron was hot, so we pretty much sold out everywhere. My Newcastle show sold out in like fucking 30 minutes, which was like
that's cool.
A mind-blowing one. But it was cool, bro. I got to go to. I've never been to Perth, and I was like, I don't have a reason to go to Perth. I went to Perth, and it was one of the most energetic crowds there was.
Yeah, man.
It was so sick, and like I brought out some of my boys from Perth. I brought out your boy Mars. Yeah. This guy Dinge, who I have a song with. I remixed one of his songs, and brought out Shadow as well. And it was like
Shadow bar for bar is scary.
Yeah, real.
Yeah,
real.
If it was like how do I put it? If we had an in-person cipher, I backed Shadow to get to the final four. Oh yeah, he's different, bro, and he's just a loose cannon too. Like he just is who he is, you know. He's fucking like and he spits, and he was he came down and fucking lit up the crowd, bro. It was crazy. Yeah. Where else did you do? Did you do NT or? Nah. So Brisbane, we were meant to do Brisbane, and it kept falling through. We couldn't find the right show, but I did. It was Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, Newcastle. Yeah, that's cool. It was mad, bro. It was cool to like, I've done so many shows where I'm just like 1 of 10 doing a lineup, Yeah. And like things were so hot for me at the time, and like. It just felt like every day something new was just going crazy, and I was just like, well, fucking, what is it next? Like, what's going on next? Like, that's gonna just blow me back. And we did this tour, and being able to be like, Melbourne, where I didn't know if I have listeners in Melbourne, and I get to this venue, and like I get on stage, and it's like all the way back, like I can't even see the back, and there's a couple hundred people there. I'm like, they're here for me, like that was. Definitely like super special, bro. Like, have you ever had anyone like? Have you ever told someone like what you do, and like people be kind of shocked because you are different to what you'd expect, right? In the hip hop industry. Yeah, definitely. Like a lot of the time, but I think that's like we love that surprise. That like I'm like I'm like a rapper, and like I do this, and they're like, you, okay, yeah. But like especially in the States as well. Like I'm this like big chubby white boy, like, and I come in and I'm with like these rappers who are like. Gangsters, you know what I mean? I'm playing them shit, and they're like, oh, shit. Yeah, you can hold it. Yeah, like it's cool, bro. I love it. I love that, old as saying, but don't judge a fucking book by the cover, man. I'm fucking. Yeah, you're like that, bro. Because like you think maybe you're along the Action Bronson line, because there are this like those. Yeah, the big white boy who's like sort of steezy. Yeah. Perfectly put, bro. Like that big white fella that can hold it down, throw a few bars. Cool with everyone in the room, but then you have you are that, and then you have like this singing element, which like throws that all. Yeah, it's like a whole totally different side of me. Yeah, and it kind of throws people off as well in the good sense. But like, oh shit, this guy does both. Yeah, and a lot of people are also like, well, I've had some comments on like TikToks, like not like aggressive or anything, but just being like, man, you shot the song being like, like slick talk with women, and now you're posting a song about a breakup. Like, which one is it? And I'm like. I'm human, bro. Like sometimes I feel confident, I want to pop my shit, and sometimes I'm emotional, bro. It's like, I just love so much music, and being able to have
different pockets for when I'm feeling certain things. It's like,
Do you feel like your inspiration for music comes from feelings, or does it come from stories?
it's both, but when it came to writing Chasing Home, I knew that it was the stories. You know, like I had, when I was planning the project, like we made it in like a week and a half on Discord because it was lockdown. I made it on Discord with Liam, and I was like, cool. So song 1 is my song about moving to Sydney. Song 2 is about me meeting this girl. You know, like I had it out before I'd written the song.
Yeah.
So each day we'd get on Discord and go, all right, we want to write this song. Okay, cool. So we start playing around. We find the right vibe, find the right feeling that feels like that subject, and then wrote it out. You know, like.
How do you like, bro? Where do you start, type of thing? Because you obviously it's not like you're listening to beats and then going, oh, or is that what you were doing? You were getting different beats and then attaching it to different songs.
No, so at least for that project, the thought was, okay, so this is the song about meeting this girl at this party and just like wanted to run away and fucking, have that moment, So we were like, cool, let's play around. Like Liam would be there on the keys, like playing with different things and going, and we made it. We'd make something. We go, it's not the right vibe. I can't write to it.
Yeah.
And we changed up and we finally found this like sort of like 3/4 bounce, like really weird drum bounce on my song White Mercedes, and we were like, this is different. And then straight away I was like, I had the idea, let my home, let it out, like sort of like and we made every song connect. So it was almost like it was super like locked in, but it was also like, no, this doesn't feel like it. Let's try this one then, And we wanted to do that. Like for the intro song was one where we were like, we had a list of things like that I wanted to talk about, about growing up with my parents, this and that, like this experience here, and then we put it together. And we really wanted to sample. We wanted to have like a sample on the first song, and we were gonna sample a Blessed song. And we tried a couple ones, they didn't really fit, but we ended up sampling this guy Mike Stud from the States. And yeah, but yeah, it's like we had on that project we had such an idea of what I wanted to write about that it was almost like so focused that it wasn't hard or anything to tap into it, especially because a lot of it was still fresh. You know what I mean? Especially with like at that time had just gotten back home because it was lockdowns and everything. I was like, I'm going back home. Having those feelings fresh, being like, fuck, I'm back home. This feels good. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I've always sort of like, that's like sort of the point of the project is like I've always sort of like found home in different things, and my home is always changing. When I was young, I left home super early and went and stayed with some family in Wagga and did like year 11 and 12 in Wagga, and I'd come back and like I was always sort of like chasing home. So it was definitely easy to write that project.
So you lived in Wagga for a bit? Yeah,
2 years. Yeah, I got people who still who still will come up and be like, "Are you from Wagga, huh?" I'm like, not really, but I spent a couple of years there. It was cool, man. I got some really good friends in Wagga.
Fuck, Wagga to fucking Atlanta T-Pain is 3 years, bro.
I know, bro.
Nuts.
Shout out Turby Park, baby. You know what I mean? 2650, baby.
Oh, fuck.
It's crazy. I've never gone back. I haven't gone back since I finished.
You should do a show there, bro.
I know, and that's the thing, is like they've only got like one place to go out, so it's like that should be jam packed.
What's it called?
The Vic.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the Victoria or like the Royal or something. Yeah.
That's like the one place where it's like a club almost, like where people go out. But yeah, it'd be vibe to go back.
Yeah, that'd be sick. What time to show?
I gotta be in the city at like 6:30.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, this game's at 4. Mine's up.
Yeah, sweet.
3:30 we'll max out at, so you can get make sure you get there.
Man.
Right, you might get. I'm gonna keep this in. You might get
fucked by the transport system here. Because there's gonna be a fucking million people coming out here.
Or they'll do the fucking.
The designated ones where it's like.
Did they put you on a bus from like?
Bro, that literally happened to me last week when I was coming home from Newcastle. I missed the last one and it was like track works. It was like I had to get a fucking train to Hornsby and then get on a bus from Hornsby to Wyong on the Central Coast and then wait an hour and then get a fucking train to Newcastle. I got home at like 5 a.m, bro. And then there's no Ubers, bro. No Ubers at 5 in the morning. Fuck, man. Hopefully this doesn't happen. Hopefully I'm all good to get back to the city.
Fuck. But we used to, when we'd go out in the city, it would be like, there's this like jump of faith, right, where it's like you're out and it's 2 a.m. and it's called the Night Rider.
Yeah, the buses. Yeah.
2:18, I'm pretty sure it was, where it's 2:18 your last train back to the mountains, because I live up in the Blue Mountains. So it was like 2:18 your last, and to Penrith as well. So 2:18 was like the last train, or 1:18 or something, and it's like you look around at your mates and you're like, we're getting on it, and then if not, you got to wait till 5 a.m. And bro, some of the nights have been so funny. They're just like, just that leap of faith of like, yeah, we'll go till 5, and it hits like 3, and you're like, what the fuck have I done?
Yeah.
And you just got to stay up and around Central for 2 hours. Like, public transport's shocking, man, in Australia. It's unbelievable. When you went to Melbourne, did you notice like how good it is down there compared to here?
Yeah, like the tram system. It's like, get smart with their city, how it's like, so like right in the city, it's just like a grid.
Yeah.
It's just like square blocks, and you're like, oh cool, I just go like that, and they got the free trams and the thing, like,
yeah,
it's good.
Sydney could learn a bit, man. It's shocking. It's shocking. What do you think, like, along the way, what's like a really underrated moment of your career that you think you probably like, you feel like maybe deserves more attention from yourself, not from other people, but like you could sit there and be like, wow, that really was like a massive fucking turning point?
Yeah, it's interesting, man. I think, I'm trying to think, bro. It's tricky. I mean, there's just such obvious ones, like the T-Pain shit. Like, it's hard to, understate how cool that was.
Yeah.
One thing that I was really, that was really cool for me was getting the Acclaim All-Stars.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's cool.
Being picked, because it's like, you get voted on by like, by people in the industry, like they pick the voting a lot, and then up to the people as well to pick everyone. And I was like really well voted. I ended up getting in there. We all went to Melbourne and did like the photo shoot and the cyphers, and like I think that's a very underrated thing, not only for myself but for everyone. I did a cypher with Babyface, Mao, and Sriracha, and that shit is fucking hard. It was fucking dope. It was on like a Detroit beat, like. It was cool, man. That was a really fun moment for me. I think that was cool.
Yeah, that's sick. That every time I see a cypher, it's similar to that. I just think of the 2016.
Oh yeah. You can't beat that. The underrated one is the Lil Dicky and Designer and Anderson .Paak.
Yes.
That one.
I completely agree.
That shit was hard, bro. Like Lil Dicky slid on that, man.
Did you think with Lil Dicky, do you think like he's someone that you had looked at marketing wise at all along the years?
Maybe.
One of the first I looked at, I was like, oh, you do it differently.
Yeah, maybe more so. Like, I mean, I listened to his music in high school. Like all the songs he has, like Taken Down Now, they're a little too on the nose there. Yeah, but maybe more so recently, because when I was in the States last time, I started watching Dave, and I was like, his show, he's got like a show based on his life.
Yeah.
And it was like so good and so funny and all the cameos, and I just went, fuck, I'm gonna make one of these. You know what I mean? Like that showed me, how he's like taking his idea and like his total sense of humor and like putting it into a show, and you go, fuck, that's so him. Yeah. Like it always makes me want to chase something where you're like, that's so me. And lately, I've been trying to incorporate, my personality into things more, because, I'm a bit of a moron, bro, so I've been trying to like incorporate that more, have more fun in the videos, and I'm about to start making like a series where I'm just going out and doing new experiences and seeing things, and fucking, I don't know, go to a wine tasting or something and rock up super smashed, or like, what I mean, just like some fun shit. So I definitely think someone like him, and he was so perfect with his marketing in a time where like songs could just in a day do 1 million views. Like his first song, like he set up 2 years of videos and releases or something like that. He set up like 15 songs and paid for it all out of his bar mitzvah money, and then just went, cool, I'm not going to stop posting, no matter if they do well or they do bad. First song did 1 million in a day. And he's like, cool, well now I'm famous, I guess. And then he had hella songs to follow it up with. So stuff like that, definitely, like the way he's marketed himself and just being himself all the time. Like going into the Breakfast Club and just saying stupid shit about his dick to like Charlemagne, and like, you're like, oh bro, you're literally like not wavering for anything. It's mad.
Charlemagne's something else.
He's so good, bro. Those clips are just like all the times he says out of pocket shit, and you're like, man.
I was gonna repeat one.
No, I know exactly the one that you're thinking of too, brother.
With Lil Dicky, he played into that like big stereotype on like Jewish people, and then he fucking flipped the industry in this same song with Save That Money.
Yeah.
And he's talked about like how he just was like, well, I got stereotyped straight away from being like, from his background. And then he's like, also like, what the fuck is wrong with saving money? Like, so many people spend so much stupid money in this industry. And then Save That Money came out, I was like, oh yeah, you've got it. Professional Rapper was another one where I was like...
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
With Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, just that like idea, and then the execution, and then like the added humour of like the lady.
Yeah, the end,
Yeah. But yeah, he's one of those first people I looked at. I was like, because I would have been, we were 17 or 18. Maybe.
Yeah.
And then...
Yeah, something like 17 maybe.
Yeah, or what, Freaky Friday came out. Like,
Freaky Friday was like after high school, or maybe like at the end of high school, I think. Like, so like 17 or... Something like that, yeah.
That was like his crowning jewel. Where
yeah,
like,
that was
you're big.
Yeah.
That was like, that had to be platinum like quick.
Yeah, that song was huge.
Yeah.
And I had all the white girls screaming the N-word for sure.
Oh, fuck. There's a pub like 5 or 10 kilometres that way that used to do like Friday nights alright, and I said alright, it was just good for local. Yeah. And I remember hearing like a girl like say it.
I just let it fly away.
Yeah.
It's like the most dangerous section too, like fucking insanity. Especially in Newcastle too, it's like got a lot of brothers up there, them girls at the party be screaming that shit. It's crazy.
Oh fuck. Do you want to do like, I reckon you should do more content that taps into your personality.
100%. That's what we've been planning over the last like month or so. Just like coming up with a bunch of ideas, and just one of my boys back home in Newcastle, videographer, we're like starting to do video stuff, and yeah, we're just gonna go film a bunch of shit, bring boys. Like I really like think it'll be. I'm gonna put it out here just in case, you know, we can clip it and
you
tag
got IP.
So I've got an idea. Like I think it'd be so funny to, you know, connect with the Knights. As we sort of mentioned at the start, I'd love to do like a training session with Kayla and Ponga, like me doing a rugby training session, like obviously destined for failure, but just mic me up and let me get in there. You know? Like I think that'd be so fun, and like me and Kayla like follow each other, and he fucks my music and stuff. Like I feel like that'd be such a like trying to get people in that walk of life that I'm not used to, and like just see what happens when I do it.
You should get you should run straight to the Safidi brothers.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And like get a fucking tennis lesson from Nick Kyrgios, you know, like just people that are sort of have people who know them and can be like, this would be crazy. Like, but yeah, so no one steal my idea, please.
I'll show you like the Sunday League TikToks, but like I developed like quite a name as like the Sunday League guy.
Man.
But I had a series as well, so I'll put IP on this as well. See what you think. I'm gonna do a sport for a week. And just go hard at it and see how well I can.
Yeah, see how much you can improve. Yeah.
So I was speaking to Tender. He's a local boxer. This morning I was at the gym with him, and I was like, bro, I want to do like I'm gonna train boxing for a week, and then I'm gonna fight on that Saturday night. He's like, bro, you're gonna enter the shadow realm. I was like, fuck it.
That is so good, bro. You need to do that.
Yeah, and then
that's such a good idea.
And then I said to him, well, Dale's like on the other end. I was like, I've got to go do mixed martial arts, bro. I was like, fuck, we've got to go to the gym for a week. And then he's like, and then I was like, I'm going to fight on the Saturday or Sunday. He's like, bro, you don't understand, you're going to get knocked out twice now. I was like, fuck.
That'd be mad, but
content,
yeah.
And my mum never let me play rugby league or rugby union. I think AFL and football. So I've never fucking stepped foot, like I follow them, love them, never stepped foot in a rugby union or rugby league field. I'm going to train with like local boys, mic up for everything, of course, like to add that sense of humour, and then play a game of rugby league, rugby union.
That'd be so mad, bro.
Yeah, bro, I can't wait to do it. It'd be fucking, it'd be cool. But when you mention that, like, Kalen, it's along that same line, right? It's like...
Yeah, like connecting with people. So people have a reason to tune in, and they want to see what's going on, but also, you know, you get to shine yourself and fucking...
Yeah, I think that's where content's at. People want personalities.
I mean, yeah, look at Spanian. Like, Spanian's, like, doing numbers, just going and eating food everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, he's just, like, so funny.
Yeah.
That, like, and so, like, captivating as a person that everyone's just like... I can't look away.
Have you watched his Haunted series?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
It's guns.
You know, I was really sitting there and the guy goes, oh, like scared, like.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Oh, bro, like seeing him scared is like, because I've seen him in the city, bro. It's like for anyone listening, it's true. This guy just rolls by himself.
And he's like massive, right?
Huge, and like I've seen him at like this cafe in and around the area he lived at the time, and like. He's like, bro, he's got a fucking presence. Like, there's massive tattoo on his neck, and he's fucking bald, and he's speaking in pig Latin. Like, there's no English, it's just pig Latin the whole time. Like, what the fuck's he saying? And then, he does like those videos, he gets scared. And I'm like, that's where it's at. Like, showing the other side of yourself to people. So people can appreciate, like, your artistry and, like, that side that you like to portray to the world that you put
and it's like turning from one thing into, like, an overall entertainer. And that's, like, really, like, the best place to be, like, you know, especially if you got that personality, and you can go wherever you want, and you can do whatever you want, and, like, you know, it's cool, man. People get to know you for you, not, you know, what people might think you're like, and they're like, oh no, watch this series. I'm like, you can actually see what this guy's like on his day to day. Yeah. That's right.
I think that's where it's at, bro. I think people want to connect.
100%.
In a day and age where we don't do as much of it. We've kind of, like, tapped into it a bit, but not really. What are some of your dreams you'd like to fulfill in the coming years that you're happy to talk about?
Yeah, in the coming years, like, I don't have too much, like, I have such broad goals, you know, like, fucking, I want to fucking take over the world. I want to be one of the dopest, you know, songwriters and artists. But as far as, like, realistic goals, like, I want to go to America more permanently and just, you know, fucking just spend 6 months there. Yeah. You know, and just see what I can do, because it's always like, you get there and you go, yo, I'm here for this amount of time. And they go, fuck, I get back the day you leave. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, there's like, and, like, big things too, like, big things that could be crazy. So, I want to be over there more permanently. I want to explore my more pop side. I haven't put out a lot of, like, more poppy music, but my next song's going to be, like, some upbeat pop shit. Just man. But it still has, like, that feel of it, you know what I mean? Like, some hip hop to it, because, you know, it's me. Yeah. So, yeah, I just wanna keep making great music, bro. And I think I will. Yeah. You know, like, yeah, man. I just wanna grow things and scale and build, like, a really dope community of people who just fuck with me, you know?
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. I rate that high. Look, we're gonna wrap it up, man. Penrith Panthers are about to play the New Zealand Warriors up the wires, even though I'm a big Penrith fan. In 40 minutes. So, and Mason has a show tonight. Well, I could have talked for hours.
Yeah.
Just yarning about shit. Yeah, that's good stuff, man.
Have to run it back sometime, man.
Yeah, I'll come to Newcastle. I will be on. I'll join him in tackling Caleb Ponga.
That would be gas. Yeah, we'll make that happen, man.
I'll run straight to the Safety brothers. Daniel and Jacob will come for your heads. And Adam Elliott while I'm at it. Thanks for hopping on, bro. I really appreciate it. Guy. If you haven't already, Mason Dane on Spotify, Mason Dane on Instagram, all that good stuff. My favourite song, fuck, bro, what do I want? I just think your EP, Chasing Home, makes sense as a whole. Yeah. Like, there's individual songs to pick, but I think as a whole, start with that.
It's a great starting point. It's only like 20 minutes. Yeah. Put it on, listen, it tells my whole story, and then you can go check out my hard shit. I got a bunch of fucking knockers. You know what I mean? But that's like a more like me telling my story. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah. See you next week.